Picture this. You're standing in front of a crowd that looks about as excited as a group attending an all-vegetable buffet. Your palms are sweating, your heart's doing the jitterbug, and you're pretty sure you just saw someone yawn wider than the Grand Canyon. You might think, why did I agree to this? But hold on to your hats, folks. With these fab tips, you can transform from a wallflower to a showstopper, the talk of the town, the celebrity they didn't know they needed. Get ready to ditch those stage fright blues and embrace your inner superstar. We're about to turn you into a public speaking pro, one hilarious tip at a time. All right, folks, let's talk practice. You know how they say practice makes perfect? Well, in the world of public speaking, it at least gets you pretty darn close. Think of your brain like that sponge you use to clean up spilled coffee. It's designed to soak up information, especially when you repeat things a gazillion times. Rehearse your speech until you can practically recite it in your sleep. And hey, don't be afraid to add a little pizzazz. Channel your inner drama teacher and throw in some dramatic pauses, a sprinkle of hand gestures, maybe even a jazz hand or two if you're feeling extra. Remember, this isn't just about memorizing words, it's about owning them, making them your own. You want to deliver that speech like you're telling your favorite story at a party, the one where everyone's hanging on your every word. And here's a little secret. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become. It's like learning a dance routine. At first, you're tripping over your own feet, but with enough practice, you'll be gliding across that stage like a pro. So, find yourself a mirror, a hairbrush microphone, and let's get this practice party started. You've got this. Okay, I know this might sound a little out there, but trust me on this one. When you step on that stage and see all those faces staring back at you, it can feel a bit like you're facing a jury in a courtroom drama. But what if I told you there's a way to transform those intimidating stares into something a little more adorable? Here's the trick. Visualize your entire audience as a room full of fluffy, friendly puppies. Yes, you heard me right, puppies. Imagine them all wagging their tails excitedly, eager to hear you speak. Picture them tilting their heads in curiosity, their big, innocent eyes sparkling with anticipation. Can you feel the tension melting away? It's amazing what a little mental imagery can do. Suddenly, instead of facing a crowd of strangers, you're surrounded by a pack of your biggest fans, all rooting for you to succeed. And let's be honest, who wouldn't feel more relaxed and confident speaking to a room full of adorable puppies? You'll be so busy picturing their cute little faces that you'll forget all about your nerves. All right, you've practiced your heart out. You've mentally transformed your audience into a pack of adorable puppies. Now it's time to make your grand entrance. And trust me, you don't want to start with a whimper. You want to grab their attention from the get-go, like a magician pulling a rabbit out of a hat, but hopefully less furry. How do you do that, you ask? Well, my friend, the answer is simple. Start with a bang. And by bang, I mean a killer opening line. Something that will make them sit up and take notice. Something that says, hey, I'm here, I'm fabulous, and you're going to want to listen to what I have to say. Now, I'm a big fan of humor, so naturally I think a well-placed joke or pun is the perfect way to break the ice. It's like a warm, fuzzy blanket for the audience's funny bone. For instance, you could start with something like, why did the speaker break up with their audience? Because they just weren't word compatible. Sure, they might groan, but hey, a groan is a response. And who knows, you might even get a chuckle or two. The point is, you've captured their attention and set the tone for a fun, engaging speech. Remember, they want you to succeed. Okay, let's take a moment to address the elephant in the room, or should I say, the fear monster under the bed. We've all been there, standing backstage, heart pounding, convinced that the audience is secretly hoping we'll trip, mumble, or spontaneously combust. But here's the truth. They're not. In fact, they're actually rooting for you to succeed. Think about it. They've taken time out of their busy schedules, they've potentially battled traffic, and they've probably paid for parking. The horror. They want you to be amazing. They're not a jury waiting to judge your every word. They're more like your friends at a karaoke bar, cheering you on even if you miss a note or two. They've been in your shoes, they know how nerve-wracking public speaking can be, and they're secretly hoping you'll knock it out of the park. So take a deep breath, channel your inner rock star, and remember, the audience is on your side. They're your biggest fans, your own personal cheering section. Now go out there and give them a show they'll never forget. a few jokes up your sleeve. All right, let's talk about the magic of humor. You know how a good laugh can instantly lighten the mood, like a sprinkle of confetti on a Tuesday afternoon? Well, the same principle applies to public speaking. A well-timed joke can be your secret weapon, a way to break the tension, inject some levity, and remind everyone that you're not a robot programmed to deliver dry facts. Unless that's your thing, then by all means, embrace your inner robot. Now, I'm not saying you need to become a stand-up comedian overnight, but it's always a good idea to have a few light-hearted jokes up your sleeve, ready to deploy when the mood feels a bit too serious. Think of them as your emergency kit for awkward silences or unexpected technical difficulties. If the microphone goes out, you can quip, "Well, this is awkward. I guess it's a good thing I brought my tap shoes." And hey, if a joke bombs, don't sweat it, just laugh it off and move on. You can even turn it into a self-deprecating moment like, "Well, I guess comedy isn't my forte, but maybe my resume is still worth a glance." Focus on your message, not the delivery. Let's be real, folks. When we're nervous, our brains have a tendency to go haywire. It's like they've suddenly decided to host a rodeo, and our thoughts are the bulls, bucking and snorting, making it nearly impossible to form a coherent sentence. We start speaking faster than an auctioneer on caffeine, our words tripping over each other like they're in a hurry to get nowhere fast. And then there's the dreaded ums and ahs that creep in like uninvited guests at a party. But here's the thing. It happens to the best of us. Even seasoned speakers occasionally stumble over their words or lose their train of thought. The key is to not let it derail your entire speech. Remember, what you're saying is far more important than how you're saying it. Your message is the star of the show, and your delivery is simply the supporting cast. So if you mispronounce a word, don't panic. Just take a breath. Correct yourself if you even need to, and keep on trucking. The audience is there to hear your insights, your stories, your ideas, not to judge your every inflection or pause. So relax, focus on connecting with your audience, and let your passion for your message shine through. Mistakes happen, and that's okay. Let's face it, folks, we're all human. We spill coffee, we trip over air molecules, and sometimes we even forget what we were about to say mid-sentence, especially if we're trying to remember a grocery list while simultaneously solving a Rubik's Cube. And guess what? That's perfectly okay. In fact, it's what makes us relatable, endearing, and dare I say, even more interesting. Because let's be honest, who wants to listen to a perfect robot drone on for hours? So if you flub a line, if your notes decide to take a flying leap off the stage, or if you accidentally call someone by the wrong name, we've all been there. Don't panic. Just embrace the moment, laugh it off, and move on. Remember, the audience is on your side. They're not expecting perfection, they're expecting authenticity. So, if something unexpected happens, turn it into a moment of shared laughter. You can even acknowledge it directly, like, "Well, that was unexpected. I guess I should have brought a leash for my notes." The key is to not let a small mishap derail your entire speech. Just roll with the punches, keep your sense of humor handy, and remember, even the most experienced speakers have their oops moments. Each engagement is a learning experience. Congratulations, my friend. You've made it to the end of this whirlwind public speaking adventure. You've practiced, you've visualized, you've even mastered the art of the well-timed joke, or at least you're working on it. But here's the thing about public speaking. It's a journey, not a destination. Think of it like learning to ride a bike. You're going to wobble, you might even fall a few times. But with each attempt, you gain more confidence, more balance, and more skill. So, my advice to you is this. Keep practicing, keep experimenting, and keep putting yourself out there. Every time you step on that stage, whether it's in front of a small group or a packed auditorium, you're honing your craft, refining your voice, and becoming a more confident, engaging speaker. And who knows, with enough practice and a sprinkle of that Ellen DeGeneres charm, you might just become the next TED Talk sensation, inspiring millions with your words. Or at the very least, you'll be the most sought-after speaker at family gatherings, captivating your relatives with tales of your public speaking triumphs, and maybe a few hilarious mishaps along the way. Embrace the awkward. Public speaking is inherently a bit awkward. You're standing in front of a group of people, all eyes on you, and sometimes things don't go as planned. Maybe you trip over your words, or your slides don't advance, or you get a tricky question from the audience. Guess what? That's perfectly normal. The key is to embrace these awkward moments rather than fear them. They humanize you and make you relatable. Audiences appreciate authenticity more than perfection. So, when the next awkward moment strikes, don't panic. Acknowledge it with a smile, maybe even a lighthearted comment, and move on. Remember, it's not about being flawless. It's about connecting with your audience and conveying your message. So, take a deep breath, embrace the awkward, and let your genuine self shine through. Now go out there and rock that stage with all your quirky, wonderful self. You got this! Well, there you have it, folks. My top secret tips for conquering your fear of public speaking and owning that stage like the rock star you are. Remember, practice makes progress, laughter is your best friend, and even if you trip over a word or two, just keep on dancing. And hey, if all else fails, just picture everyone in their underwear. Or better yet, as a room full of adorable puppies. Trust me, it works wonders. Now go out there and show the world what you're made of. You got this! And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.